Hello, group. Welcome to Action Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Today, time to recharge our engines, recharge ourselves, remind ourselves why we own all this stuff, why we don't just listen to the radio, whatever babbling they give us. So I went to my YouTube library and went to the like feature and pressed the shuffle button of my almost 5,000 songs. And what do they give me this time? I listened to about 30 something songs, and 8 I want to talk to you about, because I think I'd like to be reminded of certain things, or be told of certain things that you don't know about. But mostly, to start with, we're going to talk about reminding. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. How could they replace Ozzy, right? Ronnie James Dio, that's how. Now, I'm not talking about those big epic things, heaven, hell, Southern Cross and all that stuff. Nice little straightforward Euro rocker. Is it the third track here? Yes, it is. Heaven and Hell, Children of the Sea. Ugh. Yeah, wonderful. No, I didn't mean to call it. They're a bit epic. What they gave me to remind me of how this entire record is classic. He gave me the third track, Lady Evil. Great little tune. Good deep track of the Ronnie James Dio era of Black Sabbath and Ronnie James Dio's career. He should have done the Lady Evil on his concerts. That was a great song. Go listen to it again if you haven't heard it in a while. What did they? Well, they combined two records. Frank Zappa. Overnight Sensation is what we're talking about for this one, instead of apostrophe. The song I'm talking about that YouTube gave me, because YouTube knows me and knows I want to hear it, Dynamo Hum. Dynamo Hum, about a woman's climax, was a radio hit in Cleveland, Ohio. Yes, my city was that hip. That was a hit. It's the Frank Zappa song you hear on the radio in Cleveland, Ohio. You hear Dynamo Hum. And not Dancing Fool or any of those other things. No. What do you hear? Dynamo Hum. The blind rotation of sugar plum. Dynamo Hum. Is Tina Turner singing in that track? I think she is. And I guess. Because they sing on these records. Great song. And a subject every young man and older man should know about and understand. Please your woman, guys. You're going to get another one soon. Or you need to. Or you're going to. Dynamo Hum. Classic. How about Joan Jett video in a bikini, tiny bikini at that, just a flash, but it's on YouTube. You can freeze frame. With all due respect, Joan, you're hot. From the debut record, Solo, After the Runaways Went Kaput. And we love our Runaways. Her cover of Do You Want to Touch Me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That riff? Bah, bah, yeah. Oh yeah. And the subject? Oh yeah. Forgive me for digression. Do you want to touch me? Oh yeah. Great song, classic song. Gotta know that song. You have to. It's one of those things. You have to know that song. But in England, the writer of that song was not Joan Jett. The writer of that song was Gary Glitter. And Gary Glitter is a bad man who liked small children romantically. He went to jail. I believe last report he still is in jail. They let him out of jail. He goes to another country, Vietnam. He gets busted in Vietnam. He's in jail. And if someone covers a Gary Glitter song now, there's hell to pay. Hell to pay, at least in England. I mean, we're still in America. We get Rock and Roll Part 2 at our basketball games, okay? And maybe some other sports as well. So we still get our Rock and Roll Part 2. In America, that's all we know Gary Glitter for is Rock and Roll Part 2. America's lame, what can I say? But in Europe, of course, there's a ton of songs by Gary Glitter. Great songs by Gary Glitter that a lot of American artists covered, knowing that we didn't hear the original, they may as well cover it, and people will think it's their song. Like Joan covering Do You Want to Touch Me? Don't dwell on it. In the context of why Gary Glitter's don't dwell. Okay? So Joan did a cover, and after the sophomore record, with I Love Rock and Roll, became huge, they released a single, Do You Want to Touch Me, with that video on MTV. Great song. I'm all for cancel culture. I'm all for it. Voting is important. But voting with your wallet is more important. Because if the money dries up, people really wake up. Okay? So it's like when I'm researching on this, and I'm researching. And, they use a Gary Glitter song and a TV ad. Well, in fact, it was this song and a TV commercial. And, Gary Glitter got like 100,000 plus for the song being used. Actually, they were using Joan's cover, but even then, Gary gets the money because it's Gary's song. He's the writer. So it was a thing, and still is a thing. Basically, no, you're not really allowed to have Gary Glitter on the radio. And not allowed to really cover songs anymore. Unless you're a bad people like Turbo Negro. They do a couple bars of Hello Hello because it's Turbo Negro. Turbo Negro's like that. So I'm all for cancel culture. I am. But I gotta have my limits. Gotta have your judgment. If you know fully well a company or an owner of a company is involved in bad things, don't go to their place. Don't go to their restaurant. Don't buy from their dealership or whatever we're talking about. Don't do it. Boycott. All for boycott. Boycott the heck out of it. There's in Cleveland, in Ohio, there's a certain individual involved in scandal, his family involved in scandal up to here, and, they involved in scandal, big scandal, all kinds of scandal. And you wake up the next morning and it's like, oh, what do these idiots do now? They own restaurants all over the place there. All different restaurants, not a chain where it's easy to keep track. Oh no, do they own that restaurant or that bar? You have to take notes. I'm all for taking notes. I'm all for that. I stay away from those restaurants and those bars if I realize they're owned by this particular family. Sure. Because bad things happen with the money after I give it to them for the burger or whatever. So I don't go there. Don't go to a certain restaurant because they're homophobic. It's like, no, okay, I'm not going to go there. It's a great restaurant. But I don't go there. It's a bit homophobic. A lot homophobic, come to think of it. And, other things, because, like I said, if you don't give certain businesses money, they'll notice. And maybe they'll wake up and go, oh, we better not continue our behavior, our political support, or our religious nonsense, or whatever. It's a sound strategy. It's a sound thing to do. Because you could fool all you want, but if you give big money to people who oppose you, you cancel yourself out. So I'm all for cancel culture, but there's a limit. Because I love Gary Clear's songs. Okay? Don't own any Gary Clear. Do I? I think I have one CD. I forget where it is. It's somewhere here. Maybe. And cassette. That's it. Well, I'm used. If that makes any difference. So, I'm all for it. But I declare my love here and there for the damn songs. Do you want to touch me? Yes, Joan Jett. Yes, with all due respect, if you permit it. I do. I made my point. How about Alex Cooper? I'm 18. On a video when they're all messed up on drugs. When this is just after they left the employee. We were talking about Frank Zappa, right? Alex Cooper was on Frank Zappa's label. Frank Zappa had a record label. And Alex Cooper was on that label. None of the hits. It was weird stuff. Like it would be. On the Frank Zappa label. When Frank Zappa is your label president, you're allowed to do some flaky stuff. And we love it. But when he went on to a major label, And, this is before Alice got cleaned up. He was still razor thin because of his drug use and booze and all that good stuff. So, there's only 3 videos on this stupid thing that I bought real money with. Okay? Under my reels, I'm 18 in Public Animal number 9. Everything else is promos. So, the version of I'm 18 on this, oh no, it's not friendly, happy, Mr. Happy Hour. Family Hour, Happy Hour is this guy. Okay. I'm saying the current sober Alex Cooper with the nice restaurants that you're allowed to go to, I guess. And, and playing golf. That guy. This is not this guy. Oh no, this is a guy who was living Welcome to My Nightmare. At least got all a mile of it. So, it's a unique performance. Live in studio, in a TV studio performance of I'm 18. And Mom and Dad has them drinking whiskey. It wasn't beer. I don't know. For this version, it was whiskey, and it's a performance. It's a thing to watch. Okay. So you have to look on YouTube for a live performance of. This is, of course, Alice Cooper Group doing 18 for a TV performance somewhere. Go look around YouTube for it. Everything I'm talking about is on YouTube, which is the entire point. It's a heck of a thing to see and hear, because it's different than the version of I'm 18 that you've been listening to for 50 years. Absolutely great stuff. Check it out. Okay. Now for the deep stuff. I don't own a physical of this thing. I just own it on YouTube. Steve Dahl. Give me a minute. Here it is. But it's not Steve Dahl. I don't know if they're related. Jeff, excuse me. Rude to leave it in the excellent thing to buy on its own if you ever get the opportunity. Hey Jeff, put it on YouTube, will you? It's great. It'll cost you nothing. It'll promote the damn thing. Great little thing here. So I'm just holding this up because the spelling. Same spelling, but it's Steve Dahl. Steve Dahl. Most of you know Steve Dahl as DJ. I think he had some opportunities as a DJ, but, didn't become a superstar necessarily. But back in the 70s, when disco was scarring our youth, including me, Steve Dahl wrote or performed a song, whoever wrote it. I think he would, because we also want to. He wrote Disco Duck. And we loved him for it. Disco Duck. And he did the Donald Duck sort of rock, Disco Duck. And it was a big hit. So, of course, he had to follow up this big hit. The follow-up was also a big hit. It was a parody song called Do You Think I'm Disco? Of course, what it was parroting was Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart. But he got the permission from the authors, from Rod and Company, and said, can I do a parody called Do You Think I'm Disco? Because after all, Do You Think I'm Sexy was a disco song. It was Rod's foray into disco. And so, Steve got permission. He did the song, Do You Think I'm Disco? And it's hilarious. You should listen to it. And, he's redeemed in the end. Even have a little bit of a disco duck reference because he gets a nickel for having a reference to Disco Duck in the second hit. So it's a great song. Check it out. Disco Duck if you have to. But it's Do You Think I'm Disco by Steve. Doll spelled like that. DAHL. Okay? And if you can find this is a great covers record. Totally great covers. That was a Teenage Clam F. Bad word. Great covers on that. That's another thing to talk about another day. Anybody out there know Electric Six? Electric Six? I think from Cincinnati or Detroit, I forget. Electric Six. And their big hit. I think this is their big hit. I don't think they had another hit. Gay Bar. Yeah, they all dress up as Abraham Lincoln. And everyone's buff in the video. Because they're all gay, I guess. Electric Six is not necessarily a gay band, but in this video, they pretended to be gay. And they all dressed up as Abraham Lincoln with the stove pipe hat and the mutton chops and whatnot. And, and so Abraham, because there's a rumor that Abraham Lincoln kind of switched hit. I don't know. Talk to a historian. So in this video, Abraham Lincoln and all the Abraham and Lincoln clones, they're working out and they're shirtless and shaved and buff, lifting weights and clapping, and it's great. It's rock and roll. But they want to take it to a gay bar. And there's some kind of rodent. Gerbil. Yes. A gerbil going through a tube. Let's not tell why there's a gerbil in the video. Oh. I'm being absent-minded. I picked this. This is what I was going to show you for the Steve Doll, because this should be Steve Doll's Do You Think I'm Disco should be on a Dr. Demento collection somewhere, and Disco Duck. I don't happen to have it, but okay. Here's a band I reviewed a while ago. Don't ask me how long. The band is properly known. Is Knowledge is for Fools, which in the state of America and the internet and the world right now, that's not funny. But Knowledge is for Fools, of course, often reduced there to the initials KIF. And from this record that I reviewed, I forget the name of oh, here it is. Fast Food for Thought. I put it on the back. Fast Food for Thought. There's a song here. If you miss your Van Halen, it has a heck of a Van Halen riff lifted from something. I'm sure they did not violate any copyright whatsoever. Heck no. It's their own take on Eddie Van Halen riff. Eddie, not Edward. Because everything went wrong was when he became Edward. Oh, no. Eddie. That's the good stuff. So, if you want to hear a nice Van Halen riff, but the lyrics are silly, and with a male-female, dynamic going on. But it's wonderful. I love it. The song is called You'll Bit. L-I-L, You'll Bit. B as in boy, I-T. It's about a pretty girl like this pretty girl. Except the pretty girl is a yellow person. I used the word midget on the song, but I don't think you're allowed to say midget. Midget's a bad word, allegedly, apparently. You're supposed to say yellow person. A yellow person that comes up and that high on you. But here. So, Yellow Bit is a young lady who is a yellow person who's a lot of fun. And the song is about this young lady who's a yellow person that goes to rock bars where Kiff plays. I think Kiff is from North Carolina, if I remember correctly. Of course, I learned of the band because they were on a Gods tribute record. And the Gods, of course, are great. You always see the Gods behind me. So, it's a great song. And it's funny. And it's cool. Sexy yellow people. Why not? That's great stuff. Great song. You get a little bit of Van Halen cloning. What's not to like? Singing about a pretty girl to a Van Halen clone riff. Absolutely great stuff. Check it out. The album is again called Fast Food for Thought. Last song, because I'm not going to keep drawing on. I'm going to try to keep it to 8-9 songs when I do this sort of episode. You love your Motorhead. You love your Ace of Spades album. You love the song Ace of Spades. But it was not Ace of Spades that YouTube played for me. It's a project called Cooking Hostel. Let me check my notes. Did I have that in the right order? Yes, Cooking Hostel. They have other songs, apparently. But the one that I enjoy is a parody of Ace of Spades. What Cookin' Hostel is that in the style of, or the song that they take, instead of the lyrics substituted are cooking instructions. Get it? So they don't title the parody song, but I take it they mean it to be Breakfast is Made. And so Ace of Spades is played faithfully. So good. it's a good version of Ace of Spades with a guy singing like Lemmy without imitating him. And it's cooking instructions about how to make a good breakfast. With Lemmy doing the cooking on a ship. And it's an animated cartoon. And there's a subplot with a piglet who's trying to avoid becoming the bacon needed for breakfast. And so some mean guy is chasing after your little cute pig. And I won't spoil the storyline. And so, you got Lemmy singing to you how to make your breakfast. How to cook it up, what the temperature, all of that stuff. And in between is this subplot of the piglet trying not to become breakfast. It's a lovely little video. And it's fun. It's funny. I like fun and funny. I didn't mean for this to be necessarily a humor for picks, but I did, didn't I? I did anyway, because that's me. Yeah, gay bar. Do you think I'm disco? You little bit. And cooking hostel. With the piglet running away and swimming away. Well, I'm not going to give away the plot. And that's me. YouTube knows me. 30 songs, and that's my highlights to me was those 4 songs I didn't even realize I did for humorous songs. And even Alex Cooper, even through it's a straightforward, Alice, a little bit of change and a little bit of Joan Jett in a bikini and there you go. And Frank Zappa, love advice, sexual love advice from Frank Zappa with Dynamo Home. So I guess all of them are kind of funny, except for Lady Evil, which is straight. As straight as Lady Evil can be. So, and that's me. Next time I'll try to be, we'll see what happens next time in a couple of weeks when I do this again. I try doing this like every couple of weeks when I need to clean my palate. So, that's my 8 songs for you for today. You like this video? Give it a like. Subscribe to Action Rock Corner. Ring the notification bell. And anyone can do this. Do it yourself. And come back in the comment section. Go through your YouTube music likes. And shovel it. And what does it come up with? What noteworthy songs do you come up with when you go ahead and watch 20 of your favorite songs and videos? What do you get? Share. And for latest in action rock, garage rock, punk, psychobilly and rockabilly, and classic and legacy bands, come back here to Action Rock Corner. We'll have it for you. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.